Hola, I am Jorel Guiab, your AVP for Photo and Videography Production, and I'm here to welcome you to the very first Skillshare with CC here in ACTM. So Skillshare is actually a new monthly initiative by the Creative Communications Department here in ACTM that aims to help you learn new skills and be more creative in using Adobe application. And for this month in January, we're going to teach you how to make your own logo for your own projects or businesses using Adobe Illustrator. So let me introduce you to our AVP for Graphics and Production Design, Bona, to lead you in your very first Skillshare tutorial.
So in designing a logo, there is a lot you have to keep in mind. First and foremost, the logo is the visual representation of your brand. There are many kinds of logos you can experiment with, but for this video, we will be primarily focusing on monograms or letter marks, which is basically a logo that only involves letters or text. So to get things started, I've divided my process into 4 parts to help guide you whenever you start designing your very own logos. First is to ideate a theme for your project or brand. So for Skillshare with CC, we're planning to go for a paper or sketch theme, like with doodles, pencil marks, and paper, of course. So basically, our branding is more on the playful side. And the reason we went for this theme is because we often sketch when we are experimenting on a new idea or trying out new things. So basically, this is the message we want to communicate to you guys. And from there, we came up with the sketch or paper theme for Skillshare with CC. So the second step is to sketch all your brain fart or brain dump moments on paper or on your digital pad. Feel free to sketch any ideas you have in mind, even though they're not that polished yet. And try your best not to erase any of your drawings, because later on you might be able to actually combine all your past ideas into one, or just find the right one for your brand or project. So yeah, don't doubt yourself and just keep drawing. So after drawing on your paper or pad, third step is to merge your ideas or refine that one sketch that stands out for you. So for me, it's actually this sketch. It's a real simple logo that was still able to encapsulate what Skillshare with CC is. So this is basically 2 letter C's, which is for Creative Communications, that is actually formed as a letter S, which stands for Skillshare. Last but not the least, we transfer it into Adobe Illustrator. So for me, I usually transfer my sketches from Procreate to Illustrator, but you guys can also scan your logos on paper and upload it on Illustrator. As soon as you open Illustrator, the first thing you have to do is to create an artboard. So you can just adjust the size to your own fitting, but a good size would be a 1080 by 1080 pixels artboard for a logo. Next, all you have to do is place your photo on the artboard. So you just have to drag your logo from your folder to your Illustrator. So for this logo, I'll first be using a shape tool to create the letter C. But before I make the shape, I'll place a grid just to guide me with how I want the C to look like. I'm gonna first select the rectangle tool and I want to curve the left sides only. So I'm gonna click the direct selection tool, and while holding the shift key in my keyboard, I will select the top and bottom anchors on the left side only. Next step is to add the hole in the C. But before that, I am gonna change this shape from fill to stroke first, just so I can see the sketch I made a while ago. So a shortcut for this is just click Shift X and it will immediately change from fill to stroke. So the same thing as a while ago, I'm gonna use the rectangle tool and curve the left sides only. After that, we can now remove the grid and change our shapes back to fill mode so we can see them better. So for this one, we want to remove the red shape so it would look like a C. And to do that, we are gonna use the Shape Builder tool. So we want to remove the red one, so we want to see a minus sign from the Shape Builder tool. And to do that, we just need to select both shapes and hold the Option key in our keyboard and click the red shape. So for this part, I'll be using ACTM colors. First, select the shape you want to fill a gradient on.
and then go to the gradient tool found on the right side of your Illustrator. There are 3 types you can choose from: linear, radial, and freeform. So for this one, we'll go with the linear type. After this, Illustrator will show you a smooth black to white gradient. And all you need to do is double-click on the small circles at each end of the gradient bar. After this, you can now change the colors of your gradient. So for this one, we'll be using the eyedropper tool. And basically, this tool allows you to choose a specific color from an image or any element. So using this tool, I will click on the blue circle. So now we have the color we want for the shape. I will just adjust the brightness a bit to make it a little bit darker. Now I want the gradient to be vertical, so I'll adjust it using the slider that you'll see on top of the shape. Then I'll do the same for the second shape, and we now have a gradient logo.
For the texture, I will use a random paper texture I found on Freepik and use the clipping mask tool to clip the paper texture into our letter C. So to do this, I'll duplicate letter C on top of the texture and select both of them and press Command 7 on my keyboard. And then basically, you'll do the same for the second C. So next I'll do is to add an inner glow effect to the logo. So to do this, click the Add New Effect under Appearance and select Inner Glow. So for this one, I'll change the opacity to 26% and the blur to 10.69. And then change the color to black, and lastly, change the blending mode to multiply. So yeah, there you go. There you have it, our Skillshare with CC logo.
Alright, thank you so much for that, Bona. I hope you learned a lot from her and you actually try this out for yourself. But aside from that, watch out for the next Skillshare with CC, because I myself will be the one to teach you guys how to animate using Adobe After Effects. So don't forget to subscribe to keep up with the next Skillshare with CC. I hope you all enjoy it, and thank you for watching.